Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Sin.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Gaming in the Yeltsin Years. And today, we're going to talk about a cult classic PS1 game from the 90s, Germs.
I don't really think this qualifies as a cult classic, though, because having looked into it, this is just catastrophically unpopular everywhere. But it's kind of gotten a second wind as a result of the internet, and I think it is interesting to talk about, so that's what we're going to do today. So Germs is what I will call an open world RPG, but other people call a survival horror game. We'll say it's a draw.
Okay.
It was released in 1999 for the PlayStation 1, and it was developed by a company called Kudge, which is Kaj. They had never made a video game before.
Mm-hmm.
They did not make a video game afterward.
Oh.
We'll talk about them in a little more detail later. And it was manufactured in such low quantities, and it was so not successful that a copy, no joke, will set you back over $1,000.
Wow.
It's that rare.
So how do we start this? Because this game is quite peculiar.
Okay, so I completed Germs, and I know that you, from the basis of the messages that you sent me, did not complete Germs. So I think I want to hear from you about what your Germs experience was.
I feel like it's like Kingsfield-ish, but not as dynamic. When I started the game, it seemed quite promising because there was a sort
Pause.
of interesting story that kind of pulled me in. In the beginning of the game, I, a journalist, get an email about strange occurrences happening at the coal mine, implying that, basically aliens are causing trouble there or something like that. So this is where I thought this was interesting because what I do is I get into my car. And that's a pretty big deal. A lot of games, even Fallout 3 didn't have cars. So that was cool. Unfortunately, as good as the car was, I could not drive it. I'd get stuck in places. But I did learn there's a quite developed metro and train network in the game, which I guess is helpful because the car is undrivable. So that was really cool. I found that really impressive. So that kind of set my expectation for a game a little bit higher. So I get to the coal mine, right? And so I'm just like, let's go. Something's gonna happen. And I encountered this Pokemon-ish alien. And it's like, hey girl, do you want to be like us? And I'm like, absolutely not. And then I don't know how. Somehow I get a baton in my hand. I just like pressed all the buttons and I have a baton now. And I start hitting it because it's like starting to do something to me. So I hit it, but I keep missing and then I die. But then I get resurrected by another Pokemon alien who's like, oh, you're like us now. And then your icon changes and I guess you're an alien now. And I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. So I try to escape whatever it is I am now, and I try to fight the aliens, but it's impossible. Every time you try to hit them, you just miss, and I won't go online, and I'm like, why is that? Well, that's by design. You're just gonna miss and lose all your fights. And anyway, I escaped that place, and now, again, I looked this up. I'm supposed to go to a hospital to get rid of my alien infection, and then I get into my car that's undrivable, and I'm like, oh my god, it's 50 million degrees outside. It's so hot. I'm so tired. I don't have time to deal with this. Sophie will tell me more about this game. It feels honestly a little bit like early access or alpha gameplay or something. Didn't feel all that complete. I don't know what the point is, honestly. Just walk around, eat sandwiches, and bash aliens with a pipe, I guess.
Okay, so Germs is a game in which, like you said, you play as this unnamed reporter. And what's happened is you grew up in this town that is just called Newtown. And after high school, you left Newtown to work as a journalist in the big city. 20 years later, so at this point you're like in your kind of mid to late 30s, you return to Newtown to work at the local paper there, which means that everyone around Newtown is sending you like tips, like weird things they've seen that they want you to investigate and write about. And along with that, because you came from Newtown originally, you're also getting calls and emails from people you were at high school with who kind of want to reconnect with you. You also, interestingly, get these very cryptic, ominous emails from a company that is just called Indenco.
Yeah, spam.
Indenco has an office in the town that you can go and visit, and it will be locked until a certain amount of time has passed, at which point you can go in and kind of figure out what Indenco is up to.
One thing you made me remember is there's actually a time, day, night, I guess, mechanic. And you can go use services and time passes. Like I had a 6-hour massage. It was great.
Yes. So if you don't know how Germs functions, you might look at the way that time is passing and you might think, oh, this is just a way for the game to keep track of how long I've been playing. But what it actually is that all of the characters are set to do things after a certain amount of time has passed. So, like,
Oh, wow.
certain events will not happen until, say, like, day 3. So, a good example of this is actually what you were just saying about how you went to the mine. You can at any point go to this coal mine that you're told about, but you will just run into that alien that you talked about. And there's no way to progress until a certain amount of time has passed and you have done a certain number of things. And that will cause the rest of the mine to open up.
Ah, yeah. There were quite a few locked doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if you run into a locked door in Germs, you're probably not supposed to go and look for a key. You're supposed to wait for someone in the world to open the door.
You know what? They need to explain that a little better, because the game you're describing to me is a lot more playable than what I was experiencing. Because I literally thought I'm gonna have to drive around town in my undrivable car to look for 20 keys and hit aliens with a pipe that you always miss with, and I'm like, I'm rage quitting this because it's too much.
We should talk about how, like, Germs kind of articulates, like, as a game, right?
Okay.
So you mentioned that, like, you got an email about the mine, and you went to the mine and a mutant killed you, and you sort of gave up. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sort of structure of Germs is that you're in your office, you've got a phone and you've got a computer, and then you'll get either a phone call or an email and it will mention something to you. It's like, you got the thing about the mine. You also, at the start of the game, you get a message about there are strange lights have been seen in the forest, and then your high school bestie messages you and says he wants to meet up, but it's sort of clear from the message he's really gotten into conspiracy theories while you've been away. So it's things like that. Like, you're given a very vague, like, you may want to check this out. You go to the place that you're told to go to. It becomes kind of like Kingsfield. Like, you're exploring this space and pretty much everything in there will be hostile toward you. As time passes, you get more phone calls, you get more emails that relate to different things happening around the city.
Yeah.
So you're running like all these simultaneous quests that initially all seem like they're not connected. Just like, this weird thing, hey, something happened at the mine, something happened in the forest, something happened at the nuclear plant. And that's happening completely independently of anything you do.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like this is a video game designed around a protagonist. It feels like this is just a situation that's unfolding and you're in the middle of it. The closest thing it has to like a video gamey way of articulating that system is that Indenco, who are the weird company that is sending you cryptic messages, they have their own map of the city that gives every area an infection rating.
Okay.
And the idea is once you have marked all of the areas in the town as safe, that unlocks the final area, which is actually the mine that you've been visiting.
Oh, okay.
Germs is, I don't want to say frequently referred to, because I don't think anyone frequently refers to germs.
Oh my god.
It's most frequently referred to as being an open world survival horror game, right?
Okay.
I kind of understand that, given that the aesthetics of the game suggest survival horror.
Yeah.
But really, it is an open world RPG with elements of a console style adventure game. Like, it really defies pigeonholing it into a genre, and I think that's probably why it's not better known, because if you go into it expecting it to be a survival horror game, you go into it expecting it's going to be Silent Hill, you're going to come away confused and disappointed because it doesn't play like that. What makes Germs fascinating, and what makes it stand out, and what made me want to talk about it, is that open world aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I timed how long it takes to walk from one side of the map in Germs to the other. Do you roughly have like a prediction of how long that took?
An hour?
It took 35 minutes.
Wow.
So the map they have designed for Germs is so fucking massive that you can literally walk for half an hour and at no point do you encounter a loading screen.
Yeah.
You are constantly seeing, like, the buildings are different, the terrain is different. Like, you're not walking by copy-pasted houses and office blocks. Like, all of the buildings pretty much, I'm sure they're not literally all different, but you do not think, oh, I've seen that place before. Like, there is genuine variety in it. And the way it is laid out is like a real small town. Like, there is a sort of central area where all of the businesses are.
Yeah.
Then there is like the coal mine, but it's on the outskirts of town because it's a coal mine. There's a nuclear power plant which is located like near the ocean because it's a nuclear power plant. There is like a fully rendered and constructed harbour that you can walk around. There is a little marina you can visit, and it does absolutely nothing. And not only did they make the marina, they made little 3D models of boats to put in the marina because it's a marina and there would be boats in there.
Yeah, everything you're saying now, I kind of just took for granted. But you're so right.
I was looking at it and I thought, I wonder how this compares to the size of PS1 Silent Hill. So I grabbed the maps from Silent Hill and I kind of like scaled them roughly so the streets were the same size as the streets in Germs. And I'm going to say Silent Hill is probably about 1/10 the size of Germs.
Oh, wow.
So when I realized, okay, well, this isn't really survival horror, this is an open world game. What is the closest thing I can think of to like something of this size? And I was comparing it to other games, and assuming I got my scale right, this map is slightly larger than the map from Grand Theft Auto 3.
Damn.
And that open world is, it's really the selling point of this game. Like, it's incredible. Like, even if, like you were saying, playing Germs is perhaps not the most fun experience. It's quite frustrating, it's long, you get lost, it's very repetitive. You really need fast travel, but we'll kind of come to the fact that the fast travel doesn't really take you where you need to go a lot of the time. Just the fact that, like, this is essentially a one-to-one recreation of a small town running on the PlayStation 1, like that's really worth just exploring and walking around. And I think the people that made this are like aware that the town itself is the attraction, because when you beat Germs, you don't get a credit scene. You get like a little sort of coda, but then it just puts you back in the town. And the idea is you can just explore the town now. The town itself is completely grayscale.
Yeah.
So the buildings are grey, the sky's grey, and the ground is grey. And the way in which you know something in Germs can be interacted with is that it's in colour. So the doors you can go through will be coloured blue, the phone booths are coloured, the bus stops are coloured, but pretty much everything else is grey.
Mm-hmm.
There's no people. And there's no traffic, and there's really no anything. It's completely empty.
Yeah.
You're just sort of wandering around by yourself in this grey haze for like literally maybe 10 to 20 minutes at a time, just trying to figure out how to get to the next location.
Yeah.
And because you have this like ticking sort of like stamina meter, if you walk for too long, you start getting tired, your health starts going down, you have to get food.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes this game about just kind of aimlessly wandering by yourself in this like really alienating, haunted grey space, and then occasionally having to stop and like buy fried chicken at 10 p.m. to stop yourself passing out. And to me, like, that's kind of the game.
Uh-huh.
We talked a little bit about Silent Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the anti-Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of wandering around this town and seeing this fog and thinking, oh my god, what's in the fog? Like, there's going to be monsters in the fog, or like, will the next location I'm supposed to go to, will that sort of resolve out of the fog? Will I go through the fog and discover that, like, the street is blocked? Germs just shows you everything as often as it can. Like, you can just see to the end of the street. And it has the opposite effect, but it's as unsettling, which is like just reminding you over and over again that there's fucking nothing here.
Yeah.
It really evokes the feeling that like the story itself is trying to tap into, where it's like you've moved back home after being away for 20 years, and it's a town that you grew up in, because you've been gone for so long.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and suddenly, like, you're on your own. No one really knows you anymore. The coal mine that was keeping the town going has had this disaster, and now it's closed, so the economy's dying. You can see that there's other people living there because there's lights on in the windows, but they're not talking to you. And you're completely alone and you're completely alienated. There's no one for you to talk to. And you just sort of wander around, and then the only person who's really interested in you is your best friend from high school who you haven't seen for 20 years. And he's become a conspiracy theorist who's stockpiling weapons in his garage.
Yeah.
There's no enemies, there's no puzzles, there's no hazards, there's no challenge.
Yeah.
So if you think about this from like a pure like game design point of view, if they were trying to make a game that like prioritized like fun being something the player could pick up and have a good time with, there would just be like an option when you touched the car that said go here, like go to church, go to mine, and warp there. And functionally, like, you haven't really lost anything from a challenge point of view, because nothing was going to happen. It's just saved you a whole lot of time driving around and getting lost.
Or you forget where you park your car.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is basically a game about being in between places a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If Silent Hill is like this sort of nightmarish hellscape, this is sort of the opposite. This is like being in limbo. Like, you feel like this like drifting phantom in the fog. You could just have fast travel between locations, and ultimately you would do the same things in the same order and the same results would occur. It's simultaneously the most important part of the game, and it's the part that has the least bearing on, like, the plot. It's there for the affect, and it's there for the experience. I think we should probably talk about the actual game now. So, I went to see my high school friend. The first thing you have to do is figure out where he lives and how to get to his house. So, conveniently, he does live quite near a bus stop.
Okay.
So, once you figure out where he is, okay, I can just get the bus there, right?
Yeah.
When you go see him, he is very, very into, like, conspiracy theory stuff. He's built all these weird machines in his house. And he says that they're detecting strange energy signatures from the nuclear power plant, and he wants you to investigate. Take this gun.
That's amazing.
He's like, now you might be worried that I'm unarmed. It's okay. I've got some C4 plastic explosive that I've been saving for a while. So you go to the nuclear power plant. The guards attack you. You just end up shooting them.
Jesus.
You can talk to some of them. You'd have the option of holstering the weapon to make them non-hostile.
Okay.
But also, after a certain point, they will just attack you because you're in a restricted area, so you do have to start shooting them. While you're exploring the power plant, you discover that one of the guards, their head has become this sort of, like, strange, it's like a giant kind of potato thing. But they have this, like, sort of pulsing mound of flesh for a head, right?
Okay.
Get rid of them, continue to the center of the nuclear power plant, and you find out one of the dogs has mutated and become telepathic.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have a conversation with this telepathic dog that talks about how our races need to learn to live together in harmony, right?
Aww. Yeah.
Oh, well, no, because you have to shoot the dog.
Oh, wow, whoa, why?
Because it starts shooting, like, psychic lasers at you.
Oh, so it doesn't want to live in harmony.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to it a little later. So after defeating the dog, your friend's like, great, I'll just put this plastic explosive in the nuclear power plant.
Okay, yeah.
And then you go back to his house, and he's like, hey, I stole some stuff.
Oh, no.
I'm going to take a look into this. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, my God.
See, this is the structure of Germs, right? At that point, you might think the quest is over. Because he's just in his house working on this weird alien tech he's found. But what you actually have to do is, when he says, I'm going to look at this, you have to give him time to do it.
Okay.
So after 2 days pass, he will have finished the thing he's doing. But that's how you make the quest progress. You just have to wait 2 days.
Okay.
And in the meantime, just do something else while this is going on. The same thing happens with the strange lights that have been seen over the forest. Like, the way that you resolve that quest is you don't do anything. Go see this guy, and he's like, leave me alone. And you might think to yourself, am I doing something wrong? Do I need to say something? Do I need an item? Do I need to have talked to someone else? No. He literally just will not say anything, and then on day 3, I think, he, of his own accord, goes into town. That's the kind of experience that Germs is. So you mentioned that the combat was shit.
Yeah.
When I first played it, I was massively confused by the combat as well. The game looks and initially plays a lot like Kingsfield. You can carry 2 weapons at a time. You can switch between them at will. They have different ranges. So like you said, you had a baton. Depending on what you do, you can pick up like a pistol. You can get rifles. You can actually get a rocket launcher at one point.
Okay.
And all of the ranged weapons have unlimited ammunition, which is, again, it's like one of the few sort of concessions to the thing being playable, right?
Mm-hmm.
What will probably happen initially is what happened to you, where, like, you see an enemy, you pull out your baton, you run toward the enemy, and you start mashing attack, like it's Kingsfield.
Miss.
Yeah, it says miss on screen, and you're like, what the hell is going on? the enemy's probably missing you as well. So you're sort of sitting there, nothing's happening, and then suddenly the screen will flash purple and it'll say damage. And like half your health is just gone at once. And you're like, what the hell's going on? Germs really leans into the RPG side of action RPG. So whether you hit something or miss them is entirely stat-based. Okay. It's to do with the accuracy of that particular weapon, which is tied to a weapon proficiency stat that you have for every weapon in the game individually. So basically, like, you pick up a weapon, you probably won't hit that often with it, but the more you use it, the more the accuracy stat goes up.
Okay.
Did you even know you had stats in this?
I know I could eat a sandwich and then the little squares would fill in green.
So the only way to check your stats is the computer in your office.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, I did! In the very beginning, I remember!
This game's fast travel does not take you to the office. So you're probably gonna check your stats maybe 3 or 4 times in the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also have experience points and levels. So that's what's determining whether you hit something, how hard you hit it, and how much damage you can take in return.
Okay. So
even though you look like you're fighting in real time, it's actually just stat-based. All the game is actually checking for is, are you in the same room as the thing that you're fighting? Are you in range of the thing that you're fighting? And is there an unbroken line of sight between you and the enemy?
Okay.
Once I realized this is how the combat worked, it completely broke down and I became invincible. Because you can only attack and be attacked by things that are in the same room as you. So what you do is you equip any ranged weapon, right? You stand in the doorway, you take one step forward, you shoot one bullet, and then you immediately take a step backward.
Okay.
You're now out of the room and it can't target you.
Oh, ha, ha.
You can use this to kill anything in the game because it has no way of fighting back.
Okay.
So that mutant you're talking about in the mines, I did the same thing you did. I thought, well, there must be something here for me at the start of the game. I killed it with the pistol. And behind it is another mutant. And behind that mutant is a locked door. So that was all entirely pointless. So the other thing about the combat in Germs is that you can target anything. Like, you can shoot the friendly people in the game. You can go just into any building, any NPC, pull out your gun and just shoot them in the head. And you might think, doesn't this screw up, like, how the game's progression works because some of those NPCs are important to the plot? And the answer is no, because when you leave the room and come back again, they're just alive. And they never mention the fact that you shot them.
Awkward.
It's not awkward. You can just walk in and, like, unload a clip into someone's head, leave the room, come back in, and they're like, hey.
What if it's because everybody's a ghost in the town?
I mean, that's feasible. That's possible, honestly. And did you ever get an epitaph in Germs when you touch something? Okay. If you kill anything in Germs and then you touch the corpse, it gives you, like, a couple of sentences about that person, along with statistics like how old they are, what their height is, what their blood type is, stuff like that.
Okay.
It has a separate one for every single person and enemy in the game, right? Not every single enemy type. Every single individual enemy has its own little biography you can read.
Okay. Why, though?
Why not?
Thank you, Sophie.
So, like, at this, in like the first mission I did, I wandered into a power plant and I was attacked by guard dogs.
Okay.
I got a separate bio for every single guard dog,
Okay.
which included, like, the ones that like running in the square. Like, which one of the dogs is the alpha? Which one likes meat the most? Like, they all had a little separate story. And
Jesus.
I felt bad that I killed the dogs because I just learned that they like running around the town square in the
Oh,
sun. No, but then when I came back, they were just alive again. So I didn't
oh,
kill the
good.
dogs.
Good job.
So the enemies in Germs, some of them are people who are either under mind control or they just want to kill you.
Hmm.
And some of them are full on mutants. Can you
Hmm.
describe the mutant that you encountered to me?
It was literally an oversized Pokemon, like the pineapple tree one with the duck face. It multiple heads, I think. It was like unpleasant.
All of the mutants, as far as I can tell, are unique. None of them like recycle a design. They all look totally different. So, like the one you're
Hmm.
describing, it did look a bit like a Pokemon. It looks like an alien. Like it's this really
Yeah.
tall thing. It's like Germs has very non-detailed characters. They're all just kind of like either flat or Goro shaded, like sort of low poly models. And the mutants tend to have these very
Yeah.
strange heads with sort of like spikes sticking out the side. They
Hmm.
they look like a toy alien almost. Some of them look like that. Some of them are way more like a body horror thing. Like when you get to the hospital and you encounter the mutants there, you can
Yeah.
see that there's some of them are made out of like people fused together. So you'll have like sort of
Okay.
like a naked human in the center, and then they will have like other people's bodies fused to their head sticking out the side like a helicopter.
Okay.
And like when the infection spreads to the hospital, you find it's actually very Bloodborne research hall. You find people who have been infected and they're turning into mutants and they're strapped to hospital beds. So you can
Okay.
see there's like half a human body, but like the head will be this giant, like distended purple thing with like massive eyes. And they'll talk
Hmm.
to you and they'll like scream like, "What's happening to me? Make it stop."
Oh my god.
But some of them
Oh.
will go hostile if you talk to them. Like it's incredibly unnerving. And
Hmm.
when you kill the ones that are made of multiple bodies, all the bodies fall away from each other.
Oh.
So you just get this like just arms and legs and things are just like dropping off. It's like a lizard shedding its tail.
Oh
It,
my
it's
god.
so unnerving to play through. Like you said, when you encountered the mutant because you wandered into an endgame area, the mutant killed you. And then instead
Yeah.
of dying, you turned into a mutant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way that you know you're a mutant is you have this like body damage system thing on the side of the HUD. It kind of looks like the
Hmm.
VATS system from Fallout. And
Hmm.
that will change so that it becomes purple and the head is replaced with this weird, like, sort of sea anemone thing, and that's the sign that you're a mutant.
Hmm.
Speaking of Fallout, unlike the hacks at Interplay, you can just play the game as a mutant. It doesn't end it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happens is when you're a mutant, the hostile and non hostile reverses. If
Mm.
you're a mutant and you go back into the city and go into places, people will attack you because you're a mutant.
Okay.
So it flips what team you're on. And the more it goes on, the more you sort of find out about this mutation, and it's described as what's actually happening is you're coming into contact with a different way of thinking.
Oh. Okay.
And because you're thinking in a different way, your body is changing to accommodate a new system of thought. Like
Oh
that's
wow.
kind of how it
Okay. Okay.
like that's the kind of story it is. So yeah, the goal is just to clear out the infections in all these places, and then that unlocks the mine. So like the other place you can go to, like there's like a hotel that mysteriously goes into quarantine. You can go in
Hmm.
there and try to figure out why it's in quarantine. The answer is mutants. And then
Thank you, Sophie.
there's a church where the parishioners are going missing. What you can do is you can sort of ingratiate yourself into the church in like a non-combat scenario where you're trying to talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
and then you discover that the leader of the church is this massive mutant thing just called the bishop. And when you talk to him, he's like, well, I've been like this is an ancient religion in the town. And it's like, oh, okay, so this mutant thing might not actually be new.
Mm-hmm.
This might be something that has, like, the town's roots are in this mutation.
Mm-hmm.
And that ends on this, like, really sort of, like, grim note where when you defeat the bishop, you get this email that's like, thanks for defeating the bishop. Also, we identified where the missing people are from their belongings that we found in his stomach.
Ah! Oh my god! Oh, okay, all right.
You investigate a series of warehouses at the harbor and discover that, like, there's mutants in there that are constructing something. There is a temple that unlocks toward the very, very end of the game, and this temple connects to the sewer system of the city, and it almost sort of becomes like the third man, where you can use the sewer system to navigate the city in secret and pop out in, like, different parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
The other sort of main strand of the plot is that your ex-girlfriend from high school also moves back to town and wants to reconnect with you.
Okay.
So you literally just have to go and, like, in the middle of this, make time to go out to dinner with her. So you just go on, like, a date with someone.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, this is happening.
So the company that made this Kaj, KAJ,
Mm-hmm.
they had never made a video game before, and they never made a video game after this. Possibly because it didn't do very well. But they were, like, a reasonably successful company because what they did was they made 3D animations of the insides of human bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, animations of, like, virus cells and blood cells and what it looks like inside of veins and stuff like that. And when you realize that that's what they did, it's like, oh, yeah, that's exactly who made Germs.
Yeah.
Like, it's this commitment to, like, weird body horror and also incredible fidelity, and then, like, all sort of principles of game design are secondary to that. So, like I said, Kaj didn't make anything after this. And if you go to the Kaj website, it hasn't updated since 2005. But that's not because Kaj collapsed, it's because they became another company called Sploom. And what Sploom do is they make online immersive virtual worlds, like chat spaces and stuff, for people to hang out in.
Okay.
And that also makes a lot of sense because that's kind of what Germs is.
Yeah.
Like, they've just taken to building environments that don't really have, like, a game purpose, but you hang out in them. So
Yeah.
that's what they did after. But yeah, that's it for them. Like, they made one PS1 game 26 years ago. And that's it. And now they make basically, like, Japanese Second Life, I guess. The end of Germs, such as it is, I think it kind of drops the ball a little bit. Like, it tries to have plot twists and explain things that didn't really need to be explained, and just ends up a little confusing. Like I said earlier, at a certain point in time, the Indenco building that's been sending you the weird messages, it will unlock. And you can go in there and go up to the top floor and meet the CEO of Indenco, who is another alien. So it's these, like, three aliens kind of in lotus position who are
Wow.
talking to you, and they explain to you that, like, the entire town is secretly a laboratory where they're researching humans.
Oh.
But they're unrelated to the UFO that landed.
Oh my god.
So it's like that screwed up their experiment, and that's why they wanted you to, like, purify the city to get rid of the infections. They could go back to studying it. And it's like, this is an awful coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you and your girlfriend, who's literally called Dr. Scully, travel into the mines, which just sort of arbitrarily unlock. And you discover that at the base of the mines, there's a thing called the catapult of consciousness that will allow people to ascend once they mutate. So it's a little bit sort of Bloodborne-ish, where it's like we're trying to like expand our minds and become a new species. The part that just made me go, oh come on, why did you do that? Is the final boss is this like levitating gold mutant.
Okay.
And then it's like, who are you? And he says, I'm the real you. Yeah, I know. It's it just, I don't understand what it's supposed to mean on a narrative or thematic level. It doesn't like tell you anything. It doesn't put a different spin on events. It's just like this weird sort of 11th hour twist that they throw in. And upon beating the game, you get a little coda, and then the game just starts again. Like, it just keeps going. It's not New Game Plus or anything like that. It's just, you're just back in the city again. The infection's gone. But you're still walking around. Like, there's not even a credits roll. You don't even get told you've beaten it. You just go back and everything's just like, you just wander around and your health is still draining so you can still die in the street.
Okay.
Which sort of like, it does reinforce that like the town itself is supposed to be the attraction. If you want to play Germs, if you've got a few $1,000s burning a hole in your wallet, you can pick up a physical copy of Germs, but it will be in Japanese. You can also go to places and you can pick up a translated ROM, which was translated into English by someone called Grundo1561, literally last year.
Oh, wow.
So this is not a game that's been translated to English for very long. There's a Germs walkthrough on Game FAQs, and there is a Germs wiki. Unfortunately, the Germs wiki is hosted on fandom.com, so half of the screen will be an ad for the Electric State. But it is a reasonably good resource, and it does actually have what appears to be data mined text in it. There'll be notes saying, like, yeah, here's like the epitaph of this character you can't normally read. We've got it here.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, Germs is, it's gone from completely inaccessible to reasonably accessible now that we've got a translation and we've got a reasonably decent wiki going. And I think if you want to experience Germs, you need to actually play it. I think watching someone play Germs is not going to do it for you because so much of the experience of Germs is just being tired and frustrated and not quite knowing where you're going. If you think this is going to be like, ooh, hidden gem, PS1 survival horror, it'll be just like Silent Hill, it won't be. If I were to compare it to anything, it would be something like Pathologic.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I also quit it about half an hour in despite loving walking simulators.
Well, I mean, this is a walking simulator where you can die from walking. Like, it genuinely, it expects a lot of you. It doesn't make any concessions. But just, I've never fucking seen anything like this. It is, like, really, really odd. It has, I'm sick of saying the word vibe. But, like,
you're right.
It's such a vibe. Sin, do you have any final thoughts on Germs?
Well, I wish I knew all of these things before starting to play it, because maybe I toughed through it a little more, you know? Don't know for how much more, but a little more.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that a lot of things are kinda unexplained and tedious makes this game unique, but also very, very hard to play, and that comes from someone who loves walking simulators. I feel like they should try remaking it for the PS5,
Mm-hmm.
but make combat good and walking around easy.
So you describe it as uniquely tedious.
Uniquely tedious,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
Hmm. Well, thank you, Sin.
Well, thank you, Sophie.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you all next time.